Alright Kings, welcome to another video. It's your Raz here, guys. We're just going to dive into this, why you should study Neville Goddard. Guys, this is tantamount important. Why am I talking about Neville Goddard, right, on a channel like this? That's masculinity, that's red pill, that's fitness, all this kind of stuff, alright? I'm telling you why I'm talking about it, because this guy was way ahead of his time, alright? He was way ahead of his time, guys, about life and about leveling up, guys, alright? And I thought it would be relevant. Who was Neville Goddard? Neville Lancelot Goddard, that was his full name. Was a guy, if you don't know his story, maybe 50s, I think 50s, I just don't quote me the dates, but 50s, 40s, for late 40s, 50s, okay? And he was a thought leader, guys, alright? He was into personal development, right? In the sense of the mind, in the sense of the metaphysical. Neville Goddard didn't believe you're empowered through this physical life. He believed you're empowered through mind and the workings of the mind, guys. Basically, most of his teachings revolved around the premise of imagination, where actually your physical world has been created by your imagination, all right? And guys, there's some freaky there's buzzwords, there's freaky testimonials. I couldn't get that out there, guys, these days. I can get my words out, but there's testimonials from people's stories about his teachings, that they went to his lectures, his teachings, and so many people nowadays practice it, guys. But you get so many channels on people preaching Neville Goddard's work, but people pay this and pay that guy to show you how to work Neville Goddard's work. But tantamount, go to the horse's mouth, guys. Just go. There's so many of his lectures are free. Go to his lectures and just listen to it repeatedly. And the more you listen to it, the more you'll understand how to work what he was telling you to work. Yes, this stuff's difficult, but it's difficult to understand. That's why you have to really study it in depth. But guys, as I say, the testimonials are incredible at the time. One of his books is called The Law and the Promise. This is a book I bought recently in a hardback. I get an unabridged version. And The Law and the Promise is kind of a book where he talks about imagination, he talks about attitude, guys. This is how far ahead of his time Neville was, okay? Because attitude's a tantamount skill we have to have. A tantamount skill, modern day personal development. People talk about, Bob Proctor talked about attitude all the time. Earl Nightingale talked about attitude all the time. Learning from Bob and Earl Nightingale, my attitude has totally changed, guys, alright? That's how important attitude is. But yet Neville wrote about attitude and the Law of Promise because it was connected to the mind. Okay, attitude's connected to the mind. He talked about states of mind, which is connected to attitude. And this is predominantly where your power comes from, is states of mind. So it's difficult, guys, but you have to study him, okay? So The Law and the Promise had so many testimonials of people putting his work in practice, and because he asked them for it, so there was some kind of written evidence, and so he kind of teaches you about how you can apply this, but the testimonials along with it to show you how people used it. And it's just like, it's mind-boggling, fellas, alright? It's mind-boggling that this can be real, and it's very difficult to apply. But the more you study it, you have to study Neville very intensely, because Neville's work's difficult to understand, but because he uses a lot of biblical terms, guys, okay? So just put the religion aside, he uses a lot of biblical terms, but he's showing you biblical analogies, right? Because he believed that it was representing states of consciousness. Now, I don't know if I wholly agree with that side of things, right? Whether it represents states of consciousness, and I'm not grounded enough to say whether he believed these people existed or they didn't. I think from what I've read or from his teachings, he states that they're states of consciousness. I don't know about that because my beliefs in terms of religion, we've been taught a different way, but you can sort of still take his teachings and apply them and sort of not take relevance to that, guys, if it's a problem. So you basically believe that it was states of consciousness, and the stories kind of and what was said came from states of consciousness, and how everything's in the mind, and how everything's metaphysical, and you can empower yourself with that. It's just a fantastic teacher, guys, a fantastic empowerment teacher. You have to study Neville Goddard if you're on a self-development journey, if you're still just basically on a journey of development, path and purpose development. You're leveling up, you're getting better, you continue to get better. You have to study this, guys, this guy, guys, all right, Neville Goddard, because I mean, the reason I'm such a fan of his is because the guy was ahead of his time. There's things that he says in his lectures in the 50s that's so relevant today. I mean, how can somebody do lectures, guys, way back then, and he talks about stuff that's so relevant about human beings' natures, so relevant about the times we live in today, and he talks about these things in his lectures way back then. Let me give you an example. For instance, somebody was asking him about one of his lectures where he's talking about self-development lectures, and he's talking about a particular subject, and then somebody mentions Howard Hughes at the times. I think Howard Hughes was a businessman or a billionaire, and he said, why would I care what Howard Hughes makes? So what if he's made 2 billion? So what if he's made 2 billion? He doesn't know me. I don't know him. I'm sure he wouldn't buy me a sandwich. I mean, how enlightening is that for a guy way back then to have this kind of attitude and this kind of mindset? When we see today, you can relate that right to today and the way society is today, because people are so much concerned with what J-Lo's doing, Jay-Z's doing, Taylor Swift doing, all these humans that don't really contribute to the good of the world. Okay, not really. I mean, some people may argue that, some people may. I was listening to a lecture by Bob Proctor, and he was mentioning Taylor Swift about how she provided a service, and that's why she was so rich, because Bob believed that that's the way to the key to earning money is service, not a salary. Okay, and because Taylor Swift provides such a service, it made her wealthy. But is she really providing a service, guys? Okay, I don't know. Most of these pop stars, in my opinion, today, guys, are manufactured. There's auto-tuning, there's all that nonsense. But we're digressing here, okay? So this Goddard was ahead of his time in relation to this. He also talked about the news, guys, all right? The news, and people go and watch the news. They go and watch mass media, which could be some lobby. He says which could be some lobbyist, some press agent, and then they absorb that like a sponge. And then they dwell on that information. Okay, I'm just kind of paraphrasing, but think how ahead of his time he was, because this is relevant today. We watch so much nonsense on television, news, social media. We're bombarded by it. What's happened? World War III. Baba's done this, Baba's does that. There's some recent thing. Putin, guys, I don't watch it. It kind of floats across my feed, so I slightly catch it. I don't absorb it. I've trained my mind not to absorb now. Even if I catch something that doesn't absorb, it doesn't go down in me, okay? So don't dwell on it. And this is what Goddard was saying back then. He says we dwell on it, and then we dwell on this, and it creates our future, because tantamount, everything your subconscious mind observes it. Subconscious mind records, guys. Your subconscious mind is constantly recording, guys. So don't think, I've just watched that for a wee bit, because when you're watching that for a wee bit, your subconscious is recording that, guys. Okay, so just be very careful. That's how powerful your subconscious mind is. Everything's recorded. So that's what Neville Goddard says, is don't dwell on it. So he was giving you information, guys, that's so relevant today to personal development, to navigate and manipulate the matrix to your will, to the good of you. Okay, to empower yourself. This is what Goddard was telling back then. And the beauty of this man, this person, was, guys, he never did it for financial gain. I mean, you get so many people trying to do his teachings, all right, and they're trying to show, or do this Neville Goddard technique, do that Neville Goddard technique, what he meant by this, and they're making financial gain off it. Okay, guys, Patreons and all that, okay, financial gain. And the funny thing is, they contradict Neville Goddard. Okay, this is why it's contradicted to Neville Goddard, because Neville Goddard said in one of his lectures, I don't charge a penny, I do this because I want to do it, and anybody that charges you to give you advice to be happy, healthy and wealthy is a thief. This was Goddard's own words. So you get a lot of creators out there now, and it's none of my business. I'm not criticizing these creators. You know, I'm sure they're helping people with Neville Goddard's work. I'm sure they're helping people break down his work and apply it. But this is coming from Neville Goddard's own mouth. So this guy was ahead of his time, guys, all right. And his work is so relevant today that can really help your mindset, guys. This guy believed wholly in the power of the mind and complete metaphysics. And we are now finding, guys, all right, scientists are now finding that they're debunking everything in the physical, and now they're proving that everything's in the mental, in the metaphysical. Okay, like they've now proved that, you know, we're on a quantum level, we're on energy levels, everything is created and run by energy. Energy is neither created or destroyed. Everything Goddard was talking about back then, everything Goddard was saying. I mean, you've heard the law of the, I don't know if you're familiar with the law of attraction, guys. It's well known, okay, because of the book The Secret, the law of attraction. You know, there's not a person that hasn't heard about the law of attraction, guys, okay, but people don't realize that Goddard was the first of the pioneers of the law of attraction, but he believed in another aspect of it, okay. He believed in what's called the law of assumption. He believed that go to the end, assume any desire you want, go to the end of that and assume you have it. Okay, you have it, and this is where people struggle. It's difficult. Yes, I understand. I can see that, because when you can't, we're so tied into our peripherals, everything around us, we don't see it, and that's kind of why Neville's teachings were about faith. Hold on to the faith of the unseen. Okay, as all kind of religions do, guys. This is what religion tells you. It goes by faith. I mean, why do people pray? They're praying to something they can't see. They're praying to God that they can't see. So that you do that in a certain amount of faith, and this was Goddard was telling you about things that you want to create in your life. Go on faith. I can't remember. I'm paraphrasing, but something like evidence of things. Faith is a belief, or something like of evidence of things not seen, or something like that. You know, there's a quote for that. I think that Wayne Dyer talked about this. Guys, another good manifestation coach, but I don't like the word manifestation, guys. I don't like using that, all right, because I don't like that word. I like probably sort of creating things in your life, bringing things into your life, all right. So Neville Goddard was way ahead of his time, guys, and that's why you have to study Neville Goddard. It's so applicable to your life today. You can bend it, and once you start to learn more and more, I'm still getting to grasp with his work, guys, all right. I'm a big fan of Bob Proctor's work, okay. I think Bob Proctor really nailed the mind, all right. He really nailed the mind, but Proctor didn't believe a lot about the assumption. He didn't believe, well, actually, Proctor did speak about assumption. He did speak about assumption and attraction, so Bob kind of intertwined the two, but Goddard simply went to the assumption, the straight kill. He went to the end. He talks about the end, guys, being the end, and this is where people have the difficulty. They can't live as if they're there. And once you get the key to that, that's the key, because everything around you will change, guys. It's like just having a delusional belief in anything you want to attain. It's like having a delusional belief. Okay, this is what Neville Goddard predominantly taught, but there's many kind of ways he taught it, okay, and kind of techniques he used. So guys, Neville Goddard should be a tantamount on your list, guys, of your tools, okay, to better yourself. This guy, in my opinion, guys, was like so ahead of his time. Such a fantastic guys, human being that knew about the mind. I mean, some of his stuff's mind-boggling. You just got to listen to some of the stuff he said. He was even many times he would have conversations with scientists and they would try to debunk him, and then kind of university papers were released where I think one of the things was about, somebody says that when the past is past, it's gone. It's non-existent, because his scientific approach to it was it would mess up his scientific calculation and his theories. And then they brought out something called the positron, right? And they proved that a positron, the particle, can flip to the past and can come back to the center. Something in that sense, guys, all right, scientifically. So it can flip to the past and then in a moment be in the future and in a moment be in the present. Scientific, guys, but you have to watch it to understand it. So it kind of debunked that guy and agreed with Goddard, or what Neville Goddard said. And Neville Goddard said to him, I'm not a scientist. I can't argue with you on this point. I just know what I know. So very ahead of his time, guys. Study Neville Goddard. Start studying him. Start trying to apply his stuff. Guys, you have to try apply it, right? When you start applying it, you'll notice wee changes. I mean, imagine just getting a hold of this power and just kind of really adopting yourself and really training yourself in this power, guys. It's crazy, and people have used things Goddard talked about. I mean, there's a lot of people that have won the lottery, guys. All right, and they told you the structure of how they won the lottery. If you watch what they did, their habits, that's basically what Neville Goddard talks about. These people used a lot of their imagination, their visualization. That guy, Carl Runefort, the moon, guys, I don't know, the guy went from superstore to billionaire, guys, crypto billionaire. He did the same thing. You know, he was living in the end. He even says that I lived in the end, like I was driving jets like I had it now. That's what Goddard talks about. Yes, it's not as easy to apply it, guys. I know that, you know, you might say, oh, well, why are you not doing it? Yes, I'm working on, guys. I'm working on getting to grips with what Goddard talked about and applying it and really understanding it, guys, and just applying it. And like Goddard says, he says, live by it, live in the end, live by it, live by the teachings, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. I will get a grips to it, guys, and I'm getting a grip of it, but it's very difficult, because the more you study Neville Goddard, the more you learn. Okay, the more you think, wow, and you realize you have to work on it, guys. All right, you have to work on it, because we're in states of mind, guys. This is what Neville Goddard says. He says you can flip so easily from a poverty state to a rich state. You can inhabit that reality simply from a state. He believes it's in the mind. The state's in the mind. Everything around you will flip. I know it sounds out there, guys, but so many people have done this. So many people have done this today. They've done it and they've talked about it. That's basically flipping states. That's basically using what Neville Goddard talked about. So this guy's way ahead of his time, fellas. Way ahead of his time. So you need to start studying this stuff, guys. You know, study your mind, train your mind, guys. Train your mind daily. This is what I do, guys. And start absorbing more mental information, guys. It'll make you stronger. More mental information. More mental investment up here, guys, and information, because I see so many men out there, guys, now, and I saw this in one of my friends, guys, years ago, and he wasn't a bad person, guys, but I used to observe him and look at the things that humoured him, and it was like, useless YouTube videos, useless YouTube videos that made him giggle about nonsense that's not really providing any value, not doing anything for his brains, useless comedy programs on television, and I was always aware of that. I used to look at it like, wow, that how's that serving? How's that serving? Your growth? How's that going to empower you? Watch stuff that empowers you, guys. Watch stuff that empowers you. Watch stuff that really kind of inspires you. Okay, because the more you watch that inspires you and empowers you, guys, you will start to resonate with that. You'll start to desire that, resonate with that, and you'll start to go towards that. Okay, so Sonny Goddard, guys, Neville Goddard, fantastic, way ahead of his time, guys. So I hope this one, I'm going to leave it here, guys. I hope this one helped you, guys. I know it's a bit of a long video to take, but I had a lot to get out, guys. You can't go wrong by studying this guy. Get his books, guys, okay? I'm going through the Law and the Promise just now, guys. I might review it for you on this channel. All I ask, fellas, if you've watched this through the end, I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. All I ask you to do is subscribe to the channel, like the videos, share it, let other guys get these videos, guys, and support the channel, okay? Don't just go through the videos and just watch them and not support the channel, guys, all right? I really appreciate it if you did. With that said, guys, I'm going to leave it here. Time to get some steak and eggs down me, guys, because I had to take a few extra days off the gym, guys. My knee wasn't the healthiest because I've really been pounding it, so just worried I'm going to lose some of the quad gains, guys. So I need to get some steak and eggs and then just switch off. All right, bye, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm going to leave you here. See you soon. Shiraz out.